Little one, but I should be alright.
All right, guys. I think we are live, and you guys will surely let us know that in a few moments.
Little one, but I should be alright.
Yep, there we go. So, all right, guys, welcome, man, to the latest episode of the Sim Standard Podcast. I almost said the Terrible Towel Podcast. Get them mixed up sometimes, guys, but welcome, man. We appreciate everybody who's going to show up tonight. We're running a little bit late, life matter, life calls and family duties and things like that, so we have to do that. But we're still going to try to cut it off, man, right about 10 o'clock. Again, I'm back to my commuting on Fridays, so I can't really extend too far past that. Outside of that, I think we're going to have a good time tonight. We got a lot to talk about. Really quick, Smitty, man, we might as well jump right into it. We could be in and out with this topic. Finals predictions. What you got so far, man? What do you think is going to happen in these finals as far as who's going to win and by what game?
Cleveland got an outside chance, but real talk, I think it's a wrap. I think it'll be Golden State. I'm gonna give Cleveland. I'm gonna say 5 games. 5 games for Golden State. It would be a dark horse 7 games if Cleveland could pull it that far, but I highly doubt they will.
Yeah. I mean, man, I don't have much to add to it other than the Cavs have a fighting chance. A puncher's chance, like they like to say in boxing. Only if I don't know. I haven't looked at the rosters and such, guys. But if Iguodala is still out, that's another defensive component you can take away from the Warriors. That's primarily been the guy who's been all over LeBron. In these series. In these finals. This is the 4th one. I didn't want to see this, guys, by the way. I did not want to see this one again. But, hey, you never know. I don't think it's fair. I just saw a stat here on ESPN where Chauncey Billups and them were talking. I have to agree with the comment. It says, I don't know if it's fair to count out LeBron before the series starts, but it's hard for me to see where the Cavs team that we've watched all season through these playoffs, the competition that they faced in the playoffs, it's hard to see me believing that they can beat this Warriors team. Now, it's very interesting, Smitty and chat. I saw Charles Barkley say last night, I believe, or the night before, one of those nights, he said he believes that this is the Warriors team that LeBron has the best chance to beat. And he was saying because of the fact that their bench isn't as deep. I actually agree. Their bench is not what it once was. It's just that, come on, man. Clay, Steph, KD. I don't know if the Cavs have enough to do it, man. So we'll see. I'm hoping it's an interesting series, man. Whoa, somebody said Cavs in 4. Yikes. Wishful thinking there, buddy. But
extremely.
I like to see a good series. I didn't want to see it again, but I would like to see a good series. And hey, man, if LeBron James could pull it out, wow, that's all I can say. Wow, what an accomplishment, But I don't know, man. I think the Warriors get them up out of there. I'm gonna give my prediction. I'm gonna give LeBron 2 games. They'll find a way to muscle 2 games out of it, and Warriors in 6. That's how I would look at it as far as how it's constructed. Could very well be 5, like Smitty said. Could be a gentleman's sweep like last year. But I think, Smitty, that because of the bench stuff I mentioned, the Cavs might be able to sneak 2 games out this year instead of 1 like last year. But the Warriors will probably win 4-2. So we'll see. We'll see, man. I just hope it's a good one.
Yeah, and see the funny thing is, like you keep like what you're saying. He's saying, "Yo, I give LeBron 2 games." I'm like, look. This is the one thing about it. LeBron has in my opinion, he has a better supporting cast by far with these guys here. It's just for some odd reason, and this is why I say I blame the coaching. And I blame LeBron too, because he's just basically been playing hero ball this whole playoffs, all that isolation and having to play 40-some odd minutes. Remember, when they first made the trade, even though it was a regular season, but when they first made that trade and got all these people over there, they were rolling. I mean, Clarkston was playing, Hood was getting it in, all these dudes were getting it in. And I'm like, yo, if these dudes keep clicking like this, they gonna roll through the East. And all of a sudden, the playoffs, they hit a wall, and then it's all of a sudden they can't play. Now all these dudes can't ball. You got Rodney Hood, who averages 16 points a game, chilling on the bench. That's retarded. That makes no sense. And analysts and stuff saying, well, they're just not ready for the big stage. They're not ready for the moment. Man, bump all that. You got Donovan Mitchell, who was a rookie, led his team to the second round. You got Jason Tatum, who's shown up big time. Okay? That's an excuse. That's an excuse with all that they not ready. No, it's called team preparation. If you prep your team and you guys get ready to play, y'all could play against anybody. It doesn't matter what stage you're at. That's an excuse. They should be way better than what they are, and it just sucks that they're not. So that's my whole thing. It's like, yes, LeBron's gonna ball and pad his stats, but at the same time, if they actually game planned and had Kevin Love involved, truly involved, not a spot shooter, but if they truly had him involved in the game plan, him and LeBron, they would run the table. And I would actually, and that would give Cleveland a much better fighting shot against Golden State or Houston or whomever came out the East. I mean, the West. They would have ran through the East, and they would have been a legit match against somebody in the West, because their team actually had time to go through adversity and play through it together, especially in the playoffs. But they ain't do that. So now you're on the grandest stage, and y'all ain't really do guys that you're leaning on, that you were leaning on in the regular season. They ain't doing nothing for you. I don't know if they're gonna come off against these guys, because if Golden State come out, gritting, with grinding their teeth, and they ready to just take it, man, it's a wrap. They gonna come out, Steph and all them. They gonna come out shooting them free throw like 3-point shots they be doing at times, and just they gonna take their heart out. LeBron gonna get wore out, and then they gonna make LeBron quit. He'll ball out, he'll do his thing, but who else is gonna do something? And that's the problem. We don't know, because of the style that Cleveland has played all this time. It's been LeBron James. LeBron gets to do everything. Everybody else get in where you fit in. That's not how it works. I don't know, man. I don't know. We'll see, man. But
yeah, I don't know.
It sucks.
Yeah, the last thing I'll say about it is, I don't know who. To be honest, I don't know who to blame is. The reason why I say that is because I don't look at LeBron like how I look at James Harden at times. James Harden, in some of them games that we watched, clearly it was straight up ISO ball.
Yeah.
Everybody standing around. I mean, it was times where all of us was like, come on, you ain't going to win like that. They made it interesting. They actually had an opportunity to win this series, and they didn't. With LeBron and the Cavs, LeBron, every now and then, he will, put the ball in his hands, but LeBron is a facilitator. And, it's weird. I don't know whose fault it is. I don't know if it's Luke. I don't know who is designing the way they are attacking teams. Because like you said, they got some talent on the team. They don't have scrubs. They got spot-up shooters, and they got a couple guys that could do a few things here and there. They got some defense here and there. To me, it seems like if you get a little motion going, let LeBron drive to the rack, dish out, which they do sometimes, you can keep some off, some defenses off balance. But I don't know what it is. I don't know why those guys have gone rogue silent. I don't know who's to blame, man. I really don't. So they're going to have to find a way to get like Shaq always says, the others are gonna have to get involved a little more than they have been if you're gonna beat these Warriors. Because yeah, those Warriors can get cold sometimes, but when they on, and we seen that story before. So we'll see, man. I just hope it's a good one. I hope it ain't a wash. You know, because I didn't want to see it. I didn't want to see the fourth time, me personally. But I just hope they make it interesting. But anyway, guys, man, since this was kind of a condensed show, let's jump right into the meat and potatoes. What we're going to talk about tonight, man, and we're going to try to make it as fast as possible in terms of Madden 18. But shout outs to my guy, Caleb. He knows who he is. A couple other guys have mentioned this as well. But Caleb really brought it to the forefront. We're going to try to do a real quick Madden 18 year-end review. And I'll prep you guys in advance. I know from my perspective, I can't review it from every single aspect of the game. We're just going to give a high-level overview of the good, the bad, the ugly, what we expected, how it turned out, blah, blah, blah. And then we definitely want to talk about Madden 19, man. And like I put in the title, what we know about Madden 19. And what I mean by that is we're going to be basing everything off of what's already out there. You know, unless you guys were under a rock or you had to spend a weekend in the can, you guys would know that Madden, or EA, I guess you would say, released information about Madden 19 early last week or what have you. It might have been this week. Days run together, guys. I think it was last week. And over the weekend, I think it was Thursday into Friday or something like that. And then today they released some information in regards to Mutt, you know, the deep dive. There's an interview out there with Carlos Guerrero, which I know Smitty and I want to touch on that a little bit, especially for our crowd, the CFM/simulation crowd. Wasn't pleased by one little thing he said, so we'll try to address that a little bit. But that's really what we want to try to attack, man. Let's hit the Madden 18 stuff first. Try to get that in and out, and then we'll dive into all of the stuff that we're seeing and hearing about from Madden 19 and just, you know, give some high-level reflections. Of course, guys, again, I know people hate when I say it, but if I'm not real with y'all, I'm not being me. I can't dive into deep information with what's out there. I can only reference what we see there. I can't tell you how my experience was, what it looked like, what it felt like. I can't do that right now. I'm under NDA. Smitty is not. That's the beauty of this. This particular year worked out there where we weren't able to do our thing as a tandem. Smitty actually hasn't had an opportunity to go to EA this year, and I didn't go as much as normal, you know, just because it's, you know, it's different things going on there. You know, everybody has to get an opportunity, et cetera, et cetera. But the fact that Smitty is not, I would love to hear Smitty elaborate more on what these features, what he's seeing, how he's feeling, things like that. And it's, of course, when Smitty gets back from EA Play, I want Smitty to kick off his feelings of what he felt. And then once it's out there, then there you go. I could definitely, you know, once EA Play hits, then I can start saying, all right, well, I saw this, and this is how it worked there, da-da-da-da. All right? So let's go ahead and jump into it, Smitty. I guess I'll kick it off with the Madden 18, man. I know I'm going to miss some stuff. And that's what Smitty's here for. We work off of each other. Whatever I miss, I'm sure he's going to clean it up. Honestly, Smitty, and guys, as far as the good, it got over on Frostbite. That's one of the best things to me that Madden was able to do as far as Madden 18. It got over the Frostbite. It seemed to get over relatively clean. Let me explain that. I had an opportunity along with Smitty. We went down to EA Sports early. I want to say September-ish, maybe early October. You know, prior to Madden 18. We went down to work on NBA Live. We happened to bump into some devs, you know, a couple guys works on Madden. And the sentiment at that time was, I don't know. And we were like, what do you mean? And it was like, bruh, this transition is taking everything out of us. This is going to be a tough year. And a couple of guys, they'll remain nameless because I'm not doing that. But they were concerned how the game would turn out. So me knowing that information, I think a very good positive was Madden being able to transition over to Frostbite fairly well. We did see an increase somewhat in graphics. Outside of that, guys, there's not a whole lot that I can say in terms of good. Well, I'm sorry. Let me not cheap something that we did ask for, even though it might not have functioned to our liking. We asked for the game styles. I think it was a good thing to introduce the different game styles. Can't complain about that. With the simulation, competitive, and also with arcade. I know some people are going to laugh at me on this one because it's also going to be one of my negatives. But I think target passing, the introduction of that idea was a good thing. Execution, major fail on that, and I'll talk about that in a sec. But just seeing that they were trying to innovate something else that allows us to place the ball where we wanted to go. That was one of my big things. It has been, will always continue to be. And that's about it, man. I didn't really have anything else as a positive from Madden 18. I mean, and also you got to look at it from this standpoint with Smitty and I, kind of being quote unquote secondary developer standpoint, I guess, how we see things. Our biggest concerns was how is it going to be when it gets to Frostbite. So I think it was a win by getting over, fairly well. Now the negatives. Wasn't a whole lot done. And that's one of the adverse, actions from transitioning to a new engine. Long shot. Okay, it was a good idea, I guess, but I think it wasn't a good idea, and let me explain what I mean. Guys, a lot of times companies and people in general try to be different, right? Everyone tries to do something different. If you're doing this, I'm going to do that. If they go left, I'm going to go right. Blah, blah, blah. But sometimes it's not a bad idea to go left also, but then maybe deviate the way you went left. Like maybe you do it a little bit different. So let me get to my point really quick. I don't want to take up too much time. I think it was a miss by doing long shot as a telltale. Even if you were going to do it, this is how I would have done it if it was me. The journey influenced long shot. Okay? I don't know if that's a secret or not. Oops. If I said it, hey, it's out there, whatever. I don't guess that's going to cause a problem. That was what influenced long shot. The big wigs saw that. They saw the success. Boom, we need that in Madden. All of a sudden, Rex said as much. Now we're being bombarded with, we need this year. Long shot wasn't necessarily going to be a Madden 18 thing. So anyway, fast forward up to what happened. I think the way they should have done it is you do a copycat. Because what most people were looking forward to was a my career type of player mode. Or maybe the journey. If you're going to do anything, you should have copied the journey. Basically you should have did a copy of that, make it into football, and boom. Because the biggest miss with long shot was it wasn't no real gameplay. And there was no real ending in terms of what do you do after. And if it wasn't for some of us that had the opportunity to go down a little early, giving feedback, well, y'all need to put them in MUT or something, or at least put them in Creator Player. If it wasn't for some of us saying that wouldn't have happened. That was a miss. That was the time you should have did copycat. You should have said, all right, well, they doing that over there. Okay, let's do that. Put it in the football format. Superstar. That's all you had to do. And then you would have gotten the casual people that you're looking for. You understand what I'm saying? Because 2K, guys, as much as some people would like to say that it's a excellent simulation product, let's be honest real quick. Do y'all think that because 2K, we perceive it to be more of a realistic basketball game, do you think that's really where their bread and butter is? Not necessarily. You know what the draw is, in my opinion, and what appears to be, if you just look at how people consume it, my career is the draw. The park. Pro-Am. That's what took 2K, in my opinion, to the next level, along with them being authentic. Because let's face it, we don't see a whole lot of people doing 2K franchises. I'm talking about, commentators. We don't see a lot of that. And most casual people are influenced by the television and what they see on YouTube. What do you see on YouTube? My career. Pro-Am. The park. Going to get your hair cut and all that at the barbershop, all of that stuff. So Madden, EA people, that's what you should have done if you're trying to dig into that audience. Long shot was a fail, in my opinion. And outside of that, let me sum it up. I just think it also a fail, man, was as much as it was a success getting the Frostbite. Wow, the bugs that it produced. Just some of the ugliest bugs I'd ever seen in Madden came in Madden 18. Overall, do I think the product was a trash product? No, I don't. I think you can have an enjoyable time with Madden 18 if you just take it for what it is, which we do with every game. It just so happens that some of these other games is easier to stomach. I love MLB The Show. That's my game right now. I'm still playing it, by the way. Love it. It has its problems, but I love it because I can stomach that a little easier than I can with some of the Madden problems, because Madden is not quite up to that level. Just like I'll jump into a little bit. I know Smitty's going to say this because he always says this. FIFA. Smitty enjoys FIFA, even though we're not soccer people, because of what that game gives him on the field. Sure, it has problems, but we can all agree that on the field, in between the lines, Madden 18 and FIFA 18 is in two totally different directions. So that's all I'll say, man. I think overall it was really just a carbon copy of Madden 17, which you could have expected going into Frostbite. Threw a few additions in there, but the game just still lacked some of the stuff that we still wanted that appears to be being offered here in Madden 19. And we'll talk about that in a moment. Like that player movement, y'all already know. That's my thing right there. So, I don't think it was a trash game. That's just my opinion. I know others feel differently. I just don't think it was as strong as I thought it would be, even though I knew it would take a hit going to Frostbite. I still was hoping for more. I was hoping to see more done in definitely in franchise. Huge fail in franchise. Franchise literally got nothing but play live now, which is a good feature. I actually wish you could do that in MLB The Show. That would definitely be a good feature in MLB The Show with all them daggone games you play there. I wish I could just jump in and take over the Pirates right now, but anyway, that's another story. But other than that, man, very subpar year for Madden, but the pluses would be, getting those game styles. Hopefully they can expand on that. Getting over the Frostbite, which obviously we expect them to expand on that, and the visual fidelity and all of that jazz. But that's kind of all I got on this, Smitty. I can't really go much deeper than that. What do you think, man? In your opinion, what is kind of your year-end review on Madden 18? Can't hear you.
All right, there we go.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, no, I had it muted. All right, now, the big thing that I have about Madden, is Madden 18. My likes was, number one, they made the move to Frostbite. Did I expect it to be this super duper clean transition and feature heavy and rich and all that good stuff? No, not at all. I didn't expect that because, as I've said numerous times before, them making that transition to the engine is going to be tough. And I said that, when this game transitions and goes to that engine, don't be surprised to see the glitches and the bugs. Don't be surprised to see issues and stuff, because that's typically happened. You know what I'm saying? That's happened. That usually happens with games on this level, especially when it's a game that comes out every year. So that part I wasn't surprised about. But the part that had let me down, and the part that I was upset about, was the fact that we were at EA Play, and the game that we played there, was worlds apart from what we got, and it never got back to that in spite of the patching they did. It wasn't the same. And that would have been it would have been a better game. I mean, do I still feel the experience would have worn down to a point? Yes, it would have. But it would have been a lot better. Okay? So, which is something that I've been pressing for, and saying to people, in studio and stuff like that. I've been saying and emphasizing that notion, and I will be emphasizing that at EA Play. I will say that it may not be on camera per se. I don't know, because like I was talking to Sim before, I'm still trying to see if I can even do interviews with people. I don't know if I'll be able to or not, but the sentiment will be pressed. As long as the game has to be left alone, just precursor it. Leave the game alone. If it's on point, this is all if the game is on tap, okay? If the game is on tap, don't mess with the game. Leave it alone. Don't mess with it. Make people learn, make people adjust. And when the game comes out, it's call-out season. If somebody, I swear to goodness, comes out here, especially in this community, and they come out here talking, oh, this ain't right and this is wrong and all that stuff, which I'm going to get into some examples here in a minute when we talk about Carlos and all that stuff.
Yeah, we'll dive into that.
If you're going to complain when football stuff is being done and football things are happening and you whining and complaining, you're part of the problem. You're not part of the solution, because if this game gets dialed back because of people like you, you're part of the problem. And you getting called out. I'm making examples of folks, because this is not gonna cut it. Seriously, don't sit up here and lobby and I want football, and then all of a sudden they give you football and you whine, and then the game gets nerfed. It's because of guys like you. So I'm speaking to those people that do this kind of stuff. They sit here, they come on our show, they go on Twitter, they on other people's videos. Oh, I want football. Give 2K the license and all that. And then when football stuff happens in Madden, they whine. And then the football stuff that was in there is gone, or it's dialed down. It might as well take it, gut it out the game. And not having any of that now. We can't have that. Okay, so. Now, on the page of Madden 18, I'm pretty much with Sim. Long shot is something, I feel that long shot is something you do when your game is tight.
Right.
Not when your game is still in process. You don't do that, especially with this whole Frostbite. I mean, look, you had the Frostbite transition, you had your dev team working on Franchise for Live and all that. It's like, you were pulled too far apart, and then it's like, oh, you know what? You guys are going to have to put your priorities to the side because we got to do this long shot thing. It's a nice thing. I don't even mind the whole telltale side of it and everything. I don't mind that like I said, if your gameplay is tight. Get that trump tight first. Then go ahead and do that. That's my feeling about it. Was it a fun experience? Yes. Did I expect it to pull all these gamers in? No. What's going to pull people in and enjoy your game is the game, the way the game plays. That's what gets people drawn in. That's how you get new people in. You entice people with the way it moves and feels and runs. Not, man, we got this story mode in here. We doing the Telltale game thing. That's not going to get it done. Especially when, from a pop culture standpoint, this is how your game is viewed. So that to me was something that could have been left on the shelf. I like I said, in principle, I like the zone play. I like the Frostbite physics. I like those elements. But, as we've said over the years, whiteout DB interactions need to be untethered.
Oh.
It needs to be untethered. Players getting juked and all that stuff. That stuff is tethered. That's got to be untethered stuff. Even with the passing mechanics. I mean, yes, I understand. Look, they loosened it a little bit, but it's not loosened nearly enough because they still throw to the numbers way too much. Throw to a spot where either it'll be overthrown or he has my receiver has the best chance of getting it, even if I throw it up in the air. See, that's why I loved APF, because I can use total control passing, the maximum passing, excuse me, and I could throw a pass, like an elevated, not bullet per se, but an elevated mid-level pass, and it's to a spot where either it's gonna pop off my receiver's hands or they may come down with it, because they're in a better position than the DB is to get to it. Even if it's double coverage, it's like he can still possibly come away with it. Now, it's a bad decision on me because I threw it in double coverage. But if I put it in position where he could still come away with it, that's what I'm saying. And I don't have to use a super sophisticated control to do it. You see what I'm saying? That's the kind of stuff I'm talking about.
You know what's crazy along those lines, Smitty? And that was one thing I meant to say as a positive with the quote fingers when it worked. Position, what was it? Positional advantage.
Oh, positional advantage. Yeah.
There's times in Madden 18 where you see it work. Like you have your tight end on the inside of the seam, and he's in front of the safety, and he's rewarded. But just imagine if it was like how Smitty said. Imagine if you had the ball, the ability now to place the ball, and not even just placing the ball, because they tried to do that with target passing, and that was a fail the way it executed. But you also have to untether those interactions. So imagine having that positional advantage with the untethered ball, and you got to go get it. Little stuff like that, man. I mean, and like I said, they had it. That was a positive. You can see positional advantage playing out from time to time. But it was just other times when this animation decides, now I want this to be a sequence, and you still get that little zip situation. So it was just inconsistent, man. But I got you, brother. You're right on that. You're right on top of that one.
Yep. So that's, like I said, and the other thing too, zone defense. You know, I mean, y'all already know I'm a stickler about the zone play. I want to see players moving. I don't want the zone play to look so uniform, especially in the middle. Tampa 2 defense was not truly Tampa 2 defense. That's why the CPU could throw dots on you for like 20, 30 yards a pop all day long down the middle, because they only play that middle read to a certain point and then they stop. So, you know, and at the same time, the logical adjustments, like I want to see DBs and linebackers logically make adjustments based upon what's going on in front of them. Not always because, oh, he's in my zone, now he's not in it, so, oh, well, I guess he's just going to be wide open over here. Like, no, if you see him, logically trail him. You know, trail him, stay in front of him, whatever. You know what I'm saying? Because like what Charles Davis, he says it directly in the game. All zone defenses eventually become man defense. That's what we need to see happening in Madden. We're not seeing that yet. We see it in bits and pieces, but we're not seeing it consistently, though. It needs to be done a lot better. Now, if you make a hard adjustment, like you want somebody to play a hard flat, then, okay, that's different. You know, but they shouldn't just be standing there and there's like nobody in the flat at all whatsoever, and then they just stay there. Like, they should logically, okay, play the flat for a moment, no one's there, move.
Look for work.
If there's somebody, exactly, yeah, like if there's somebody on the opposite side of the field or they're towards the hash marks in the middle, adjust. Go over that way, or at least creep, lurk. So that way you're in between the flat, like maybe the QB's going to try and scramble. Or, you know, at the same time, look at you know, you got this receiver that's heading toward that hash, chilling there. Let me try and be in the middle so I could try to make a play, because if I can't make the play, I at least got this linebacker over the top that can crash down if the ball is thrown that way. Like, I want to see guys logically make those adjustments and do that stuff beyond just, okay, I set these adjustments up, now they're just going to do that. Like, no. Legit football, because, and, you know, well, I'll save it for when we get into the RPM tech and all that, when we start talking about it. But there's this stuff is going, this potentially, this stuff that they got going on this year is going to be extremely critical for in many, many, many ways across the board. RPM. So we'll get into that in a moment. But that's pretty much my Madden 18 thing. Is just that I'm looking forward. Like, they made the transition. They're on Frostbite. It had its hiccups. It had a lot of bugs, all kinds of issues, as I expected. But with that, now take the game to another level. So that's it, man.
Yeah, man. All in all, hey, Madden 18 seems to be the springboard into Frostbite, and we'll see what happens. That's about all I can say about it. It wasn't a great game. I don't think it was the worst game, but it just, it wasn't the very exciting, to say the least. And what sucks is we kind of knew that was going to be the case. So, but anyway, one other thing I wanted to say real quick, man, and you guys can take this advice or not, but a lot of times, I will be honest in saying, even on Twitter, sometimes here in the chat, there are questions and things and comments that are made that I don't reply to. I'm not being a jerk. It's just that it's some stuff, if that's your thought process, there ain't nothing I can say to you that's going to change your mind. So what I mean is, you guys should stop assuming what can be done and what can't. It ain't even got to just be Madden, just in life. Like, I see people all the time saying, yeah, but they could have easily did this. Oh, but they could have Y'all don't know. You don't know that. You have no idea what goes on in any corporation that you're not a part of. You don't know. We can speculate, but I just don't understand how people have definitive answers on stuff they have absolutely they know nothing about. And you see it all over social media about everything. Not just Madden. I'm just saying, just watch how people argue about Kanye West and just so much stuff that I'm like, y'all have no way of knowing. How are you arguing over things that you don't even know facts about? I don't get it. So that's why I don't engage in that no more. I can't tell you nothing, because until we've been blue in the face, we've told you exactly what challenges the dev team faces. If you don't want to take that, that's on you. So that's why I don't reply to some of the stuff, man, when y'all say stuff like that. Oh, they could have done this. They could. All right, well, if you know so much, I'll let you hold that. But outside of that, man, that's all I got. I guess we can go on to the next thing. Madden. Well, let me see. Should we start with Carlos? Let's start with Carlos real quick. Let's try to get that out of the way, and then we can roll into the Madden stuff. And again, I will reply to you, Luke, since you have an infatuation with capital letters. I just don't know why you do that. But, bruh, I'm going to say this, and I've said this a million times. Guys, don't wait on Madden. Don't feed me the whole, that's all we got. Dog, you don't have to play it nor buy it. That's real. Because I saw you say something the other day when you was in Smitty's stream. I asked you, how many Madden products have you bought in the last 5 years, and you have them all. And I'm not trying to call you out, but I'm just saying, at some point, guys, if you're not happy with something, you got to let it go. Now, me and Smitty, let's be fair, Smitty. Let's take me and Smitty out of the situation, because we haven't paid for Madden since Madden 12. Pretty much. It's no secret. But there are plenty of things I don't purchase or buy if I'm not. COD. Y'all know, when last time y'all seen me play Call of Duty? That ain't for me.
Yeah.
Now, I know what y'all gonna say, but there's other shooters. I get it. I'm just saying that shouldn't matter. That shouldn't matter because it's the only thing. Rock out with your old product, or just don't deal with that. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying in general, to sum it up, if something is not for you, please don't waste your time dealing with it. Just don't. And just don't. It's no point. There's nothing that's making you do that. So that's it. But let's go to Carlos real quick. I'm gonna be brief with that. I made a video about it, guys, so you probably have seen it, but for those who didn't, listen. Carlos Guerrero, right now, he's a senior producer. He didn't take over Rex's job. Actually, Smitty, maybe you saw this too. I saw something. I don't know how true it is, but I saw something on Twitter. It ain't nothing but facts on Twitter. But I saw somebody say that Mike Young is the creative director, and I haven't confirmed that. But
yeah,
if so, okay, cool. But let's just deal with Carlos right now. He's the new senior producer, which is high-level management, upper management, if you will. I don't think there was much that he said that was wrong. I think he said all of the right things that would make us feel like the game as a whole is going in a good direction. I know he hit a pain point with some in regards to what he stated about CFM, and I'll mention that in a second. But I think my key takeaways was from what he said. Everything being built together. He basically said that there shouldn't be any, we're focusing on this and not that. Let's build everything together. The main thing he said, the very first thing he said was gameplay is essential. It must have great gameplay. Now, let's play devil's advocate. We'll have to wait and see what that means to him. But, based on what he said, it all sounds good. He has gameplay in mind. He has basically all areas of the game in mind, being transparent, letting us know when they're making changes, why they made changes, etc., etc. All great stuff. Now let's address the elephant in the room. He said, and when it comes to franchise, now let me just preface with this. I didn't think what he said was so bad. I actually think what he said was the truth. However, I could understand our community not liking that answer. I get why you feel like you don't like the answer, but let's dissect it. What he basically said was, sometimes you have, battles within that community where it's never enough. He's right. He then went on to say, I think what you're going to see is balance this year. And that's how it's going to be going forward. Not one time did I think he was slighting CFM. I didn't take it that way. And I'm not anybody else who took it that way, fine. There's no right and wrong answer. But I don't think there was anything that he said that made me felt like it was a slap in the face or an FU to CFM. I didn't get all of that. I get the point of people saying, but man, look, CFM hasn't been getting all of the things over the last few years. We all know that. So maybe it might not have been the best choice of words. But again, I didn't take from what he said as he doesn't care about CFM. I didn't get that. But, of course, we know there's individuals in our crowd that, oh, the world is falling. And I'm like, well, what did he say? Did he say something that I didn't hear? So, I feel like we hold him accountable to what he told us. And that's why I made that video. That's why I made it. Because to me, I like to put stuff out there. Once it's in the universe, then I can always real easy go back and pull it up and be like, hey, but this is what you said right there at the 2-minute 33-second mark. This is what you said. So we got to hold his foot to the fire and see if he comes through. Right now, it's all gibberish. Let's be fair. Now, let's call it what it is. It's, it's lip service. And we'll take it as such because we have been patiently waiting. And we're getting tired of it. But I just don't see it, Smitty. I don't see what it was he said that completely ticked people off. And again, it's all interpretation. If you took it as, oh, he doesn't care. Okay. Last thing I'll say about that is what I thought was one of the key things he said outside of gameplay being the main priority. When he talked about having a friend of his or whoever go through all the modes and play Madden, and how the guy said, now when I got to CFM, that's when I learned football. And then Carlos kept saying they need to take some real action with trying to teach football again. That is huge. If what he's telling us is the truth. That's huge. Because That's what Madden always said he wanted the game to be. Carlos said that they just talked to Madden recently. He says he still wants it to be that, a teaching tool. Excuse me. If the game is a teaching tool, it has to be realistic. That's a positive. So again, we just got to see what he's going to do. That's it. Just got to see what he's going to do, man. I mean, that's it. And one last thing, Smitty. Y'all got to stop judging people, man. If one more person send me something about how this guy looks come on, man. Y'all need to cut that out. Stop looking at this man's body and all this stuff and saying he don't look. Come on, son. Like, I just can't. I'm too grown for that. I just can't. You know what I'm saying, Smitty? Like, people telling me how the dude looks girly and all. Listen, even if that's your opinion, whatever, man. I mean, even if that was the case, I don't think that has any effect on what happens to the game. Because I know the dev team that's there. It's still going to come down to those suits and the ones who feel like yay or nay should be done to the game and give the devs the adequate time to produce it. That's what it comes down to. So all that other stuff really don't even matter. But what was your thoughts on this, Smitty?
Well, I mean, my feeling on it was that, like I said, outside of that one concern, which is not a big time concern to me about him saying what he said about CFM, because of everything else he said. You know what I mean, he talked about balance. Isn't that what we have been saying across the board when we see title updates? Oh man, Mutt got all this stuff. What about CFM? What about gameplay? What about this? What about that? So it's like, if you're emphasizing you want balance out of the game, if you're emphasizing you want this game to be a teaching tool, where's the problem at? And I mean, I like I said, I can understand, because people are already frustrated and have been frustrated for a number of years because CFM has basically received the short end of the stick. It's like when you hear a guy on that level and he's a brand new guy and he's basically talking like as if CFM gets so much royal treatment, so to speak, then yeah, people are going to get rubbed the wrong way. They're going to be like, what? What did he just say? And then what potentially ends up happening is everything else he says is in a wash now because of that statement he made. So because he didn't come in and say, man, CFM's been getting stepped on and
right,
passed over and all that, because he didn't say that, that's the problem. So like he said, people missed the Madden needs to be a teaching tool. People missed the gameplay is essential. People miss the game needs to be balanced. People also miss you know what, when we address bugs and issues and stuff like that, we want to let you guys know exactly what's going on. They missed hey, I want to give you guys insight as far as when devs are working on features, getting that info from the devs and letting you guys know, so you guys get a peek in on the process of what's going on. See, you missed all of that because he said what he said about a one-liner on CFM. And dudes going buckshot wild on Twitter, people making videos. Even Deuce Douglas made a video about it going in. And it's like, and shout out, that's our guy, that's our dude. But it's like, and once again, I get the frustration part. But also look at the entire picture. Don't focus on the one part that you said is bad. Pay attention to the whole thing. This is the thing you gotta understand. Dude is coming from a winning franchise. He's coming from this guy. This guy was over Overwatch. What?
No, and shout out. What's up, Charlie? I appreciate you coming through. But he said he rubbed him the wrong way, and he seems like he thinks he's on a pedestal off rip. Like, I don't know.
How's he on a pedestal off rip though?
Maybe my radar is off. I just didn't detect that. I'm not saying you're wrong. Yeah. I just didn't see all of that. I don't know.
Yeah,
but
I don't see how that is. I mean, look, he came from a successful franchise in Overwatch. I know people complain about that. Oh, he's not the football guy. Oh man, now we got an esports guy. Great. So now Mutt's gonna give him more attention. Think about this for a moment. Look at Overwatch. Overwatch, does it have microtransactions? Yes. Is it an esport game? Yes. But look at the microtransactions. They're for in-game accessories to make your player look good. It has nothing to do with enhancing gameplay. You don't get gun boosts. You don't get character boosts. You don't get extra health bonuses. You don't get any of that. All these people are playing the game, and it's an esport now, and people get money off that. They're getting it because the game is balanced. It's a balanced game. That's what I loved. I would love to see Madden be balanced. That would be perfect to see Madden as a balanced game. It has to have good gameplay to be like, man, I'm gonna put all this money in on microtransactions just to make my character look better because that's all I can improve. I can't upgrade my character. I can't do that. Dude, that's awesome. Give me the gameplay that gives me more incentive to want to play. We got a guy that's on a lead position coming from that scene over here. That's what the heck we want. I mean, I see it on Twitter all the time, and it's like it's a problem when we got that kind of guy. I don't give a care. Look, I don't give a care if my man is super obese and he got to roll around in a wheelchair all day, a motorized boy. Because he can't get out that seat and he just leaning. He could barely move. If he move his neck to the left and right, that's a workout. I don't care. If he knows what he's doing and he knows what needs to be done, let him do the work. I'll say this and then I'll close it with this point here.
Ooh, Clay might have hurt.
Who?
Clay, JR went for a steal and kind of undercut him and his leg twisted up. He going back to the locker room.
Wow.
Oh, that's ugly.
Oh, wow. So you got to play that dirty ball to take them down a peg. Oh, nah, man.
It won't dirty. It won't dirty.
Nah, but this is the thing. Okay, Kobe, Sim and I, we broke bread. AZ would know too. He ain't here, though, but Kobe Lonsball. My man came from MLB The Show over to Madden. He had some nice ideas and stuff like that I ain't seen nobody, no Deuce Douglas, no one post out there. This dude was working on MLB The Show. He ain't never played baseball. He ain't never played football. He just sees what's in the sport, comes up with an idea to enhance realism based off of what's happening in the sport. That's it. So it don't matter how he look and what he been through, or has he played in the trenches? Has he been on the sideline as a coordinator? That's great. That helps though. But if you know what you're doing, you know what you're doing. Mm-hmm. It's as simple as that. So that's my big takeaway from it. So that's why I'm just saying, let's see what this guy is actually going to bring forth to the table. He's talking the right things. Let's see if he actually walks the talk. That's the key thing about it. So that's all I got on that, man.
Yeah, that's all I got on it, man. And I love being a quote unquote public figure, I guess. I love being wrongly accused, man. Some of the comments I read is like, oh, this one guy told me, man, way to suck up to the new boss. And I'm like, wow. But I'm sorry. This is the last thing I'll say on it. I just didn't take it the same way. By him saying, he said an exact quote when he said, people say franchise doesn't get any love. And I just didn't get the sentiment of him like poo-pooing on franchise. I didn't. Immediately after that, what he said was, listen, it's never going to be enough. And is he lying? He's not lying.
He's now, right.
I will say that might not have been what you wanted to hear at the time. That's what I agree with. So you can't be be upset at, that's not what I wanted to hear. But don't miss everything the man said just by him saying something that you didn't want to hear. Listen to the whole thing. From what he said we think Madden 19 is a very balanced year. Let's see if he's right in terms of feature sets. And he said that's how it's going to be going forward. Let's see if he's right. So that's all I'm saying. But anyway, let's talk some Madden 19, man, as far as what all we can talk about. I'm actually going to throw it to you first, Smitty, because I want to know, what do you feel about the information that's out there? And I already know the answer to this, but to you, what is the most intriguing out of everything that you know about Madden 19 up till now, up until today, with the latest information? What is the most intriguing features or things you might be looking forward to the most?
Oh, RPM, without question.
Yep.
That real player movement. You know what I'm saying? Like, I changed my tagline. RPM is Bay. You know what I'm saying? That's life right there. You know what I'm saying? Because, look, all the stuff that's done in FIFA, okay? I got a video about it and all that, that I'll be discussing and everything once I get my computer straight. But FIFA has the real player motion technology in it. FIFA 18. UFC 3 has the real player motion tech in their game as well. So when you play those games and you see the player movement, you see how everything is functioning, how gameplay elements are changed, or how they're impacted, or how they're able, to curve them, or to make them correlate more with real world responsiveness or more of a realistic impact. That's a huge deal in terms of what can happen on the football field. Now, to what extent, at least this year, is that going to be? Because this is year one of them being on that system. So I'm not going to go buck wild and expect the most, like, oh man, so this means the injury system is about to be in the game now. Oh, so that means that all the penalties in the NFL are about to be in the game. Like, I'm not about to be going that far out. I'm just I'm expecting base movement to matter a lot more. If I'm expecting the game of inches to mean a heck of a lot more.
Yes, Lord.
Across the whole board. You know what I'm saying? Because in FIFA, it's there. In UFC, it's definitely there. When you talk about your striking ranges with kicks, punches, uppercuts, all that stuff. And I'm looking to see player differentials. I'm sick. I can't pull up my computer right now and pull up the statements per se. But basically, with the tech, they're talking about showcasing individuality. Now, if you play if you play FIFA 18 and you play UFC, whether you use a certain character, now see, and when they explain the technology, the first thing they say is, hey, now we could replicate the fighting styles of all these actual fighters, real world fighters, like how they actually fight in real life. Now they're actually going to move and feel like that in game. The way Ronaldo and Messi plays and all these guys play, you're going to see their dribble style, you're going to see how they run, you're going to see how they kick, you're going to see all that. And see, that's one layer of it. But outside of that, if I created a league and I created characters, even in UFC, I could create a fighter, his from his stance to the kind of moves he's going to be able to pull to what kind of combos I'll be able to do. All of it is going to be sensible. It's going to make sense from the way he's able to move to how he strikes, how much power he's able to, how much power. I'm going to see the power. I'm going to see the speed of his kick versus somebody who kicks slower and somebody who kicks faster, because the way they move, the motion technology allows me to make that unique character. So when we look at this from a football standpoint, yeah, everybody's not going to sit up there and say, oh, you know what? That's so-and-so's running style to a T. You may not have that, but you're able to create it, or it's able to be created because of the size of the player, along with the skill ratings. Because FIFA does a good job, and I've said that multiple times. I could have a player, I could do a career mode, and I could have a player that's like an 18-year-old, 16, 17-year-old kid, and he's on the field playing. I can have instances where he's able to outperform a much higher rated player because physicality can favor me depending upon what it is I'm doing. It could be momentum. It could be I just have more agility. I'm a bit more agile, and my player is not as heavy. So I can get around him a little bit quicker. I can get around the opposition a bit quicker. That doesn't mean I'm a better player. It's just that when it comes to this particular element, I have a slight edge. He may be a great defender, but I use what skills I had. I use positioning. I use the technique I got to give myself that slight advantage, and I could still make plays. That's the kind of stuff that I want to see happen in Madden. I'm not saying everybody's got to be everyone to a T, but what I'm saying is that I should see real world, believable instances that make sense in terms of player movement, in terms of being in position, out of position, seeing what's going on in the game, all that. I could see all that in FIFA. I could play one half of FIFA and pull up multiple examples showcasing these real world points. That's why when I play FIFA, even PES, when I play, but keeping it in EA's realm because this tech is pertaining to EA, Madden, when I see player movement go on in the game, I'm like, yo, what these dudes got, I'm like, man, if they get this stuff in Madden, it's crazy. Like, so many different subtle instances that I could just go into time and time and time again. It's in their game. And to see that this tech is now being introduced in Madden, it's going to be imperative to see how does this play with awareness? How does this play with, are we going to see momentum? Are we going to see these, player size and weight? Are we going to see these elements be respectably depicted on the field? And if so, how is it going to be done? Because these are all different games. RPM tech is different, is applied differently in the UFC. It's applied differently in FIFA. How's it going to be applied in Madden? I'm not looking for a one-to-one carbon copy from FIFA, but I'm looking to see how they go about it in Madden. And see, my key thing along with that too is how is this represented when it comes to wideout DB interactions and animation tangibility? Are we going to see one-to-one animations even though they're in close proximity? Is it going to be one-to-one animation, or are we still going to have the whole wideout DB interaction where it still is a scripted anim? You know what I mean? In the trenches, are we going to see one-to-one interactivity, full control over what moves it is I do, just like in FIFA? I can do whatever move I want, even when I interact with people. It's going to have that level of real life interactivity between me and that player, me and that defender, or me being on the defense, dude comes towards me with the offense. And the ball physics on top of that being respectably tangible in its own right, meaning I could be a 65 overall player, but even if you got 99 truck stick, 99 ball carry, if that ball is up and I tackle you, my helmet hits that ball, it should squirt out. Oh man, how come I fumbled? Did you secure the ball? Dang it, I should have secured the ball. Bam, there it is. Like, that's what FIFA does. You can have the suckiest player in the game and still be effective if you use the mechanics. That's the point I'm saying. I want to see that stuff all apply, and it's done because this tech can make these things a reality. So I look forward to what it is that's introduced, especially in the zone play. That's going to be the biggest thing. Man and zone defense. That's going to be huge. So, and the last thing I'll say is, does this apply to all 22 players? Or is it only on the player you control? Because when it came to True Step, it was only on the guy you controlled. And then it was like, you know, they worked on the animations for everybody else to try and make the player movement look more one-to-one-esque outside of your ball carrier, outside of the person you control. But is it going to be on everyone or just on your one guy? That's the other element too. Because in FIFA, it's on everyone. You know what I'm saying? Of course, in UFC, it's on both fighters. But are we going to have it impact everyone on the field at once? And if so, to what extent is it going to be? So that's, you know, that's what remains to be seen. But that's the biggest thing by far that I'm looking forward to. Of course, franchise and stuff is cool, but the core gameplay, you know, the core gameplay is everything. You got to have the core right. If the core is right, then I can enjoy CFM comfortably. I can enjoy playing the MUT solos and all that stuff comfortably. You know, I don't mind that necessarily. But if it's not, that's going to be a big time issue for me.
And see, guys, that's why I let Smitty go. Because this, I want to, trying to show you guys the difference in, because people have asked me this, Smitty, since I put out a couple videos, you know. Well, what do you mean you can't elaborate, da-da-da-da-da-da? All of those questions Smitty just answered, or asked, I can't answer them because of the NDA. So that's showing you guys what I mean when I say, look, I can only talk about what EA puts out. So just to give you a quick rundown, EA puts out that information. They haven't done a deep dive or anything, blah, 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 blah. I'm sure when they do the playbook, they gave us the schedule, I'm sure they're going to explain exactly what's going on with gameplay. Once they do that, then I can give you, yeah, man, so when I seen it, this is how I was doing, da-da-da-da-da-da. Okay, so I just want people to understand that. And this is the beauty of, well, I don't want to say the beauty of, because I would much rather Smitty and Azure, I would much rather us be down at EA as a tandem all the time. I don't want it to be this way. But the beauty of this year's situation is Smitty is going to have fresh eyes when he goes to EA Play, when a game is actually in a more polished state than when I've seen it. Because even with the stuff that Smitty is talking about, what up, Eric Wayweather? Got it. I got it right that time. Rayweather. It's hard to say that name. That's my man right there. Shout outs to him. Make sure y'all go check him out, man. The beauty of the situation is, man, is even with the stuff that I know that's coming, and even with what I've seen, I don't know how it's gonna, you know, I don't know how it's gonna finalize. I have no idea. And I'm not gonna be at EA Play. Smitty is. So you see what I'm saying? So I'm gonna be asking Smitty these questions like, so Smitty, did it do this? Did it do that? Because I remember when I was told da-da-da-da-da, what I saw, supposedly da-da-da-da-da. So it's going to be a phenomenal conversation between Smitty and I can't wait. And you guys will hear it, obviously, on the show that we'll do. But, yeah, man, player movement, player motion, y'all already know that's my thing, along with Smitty. We've been hammering this point for years. We told y'all a couple years ago. Remember when we told y'all it'll happen? It'll happen. This was one of the things, guys, that we knew was coming. There you go. We told you this a couple years ago. We was like, this thing's on the table. They just got to get it done. We knew they was going to address that. Remember when Rex said a couple years ago on the show, Poetry in Motion? We already knew the plan was to do that. Frustrating part was, for Smitty and I, was we didn't quite know which year it was going to happen. So every time we would see the game coming up, we was like, this ain't the one. See the next game, this ain't the one with the player movement. And why y'all think we were so vocal about that? Because we knew that the idea was already there. It's no mystery why Smitty often would use FIFA. I've used it a few times because we was like, the tech is there. Why don't y'all just take it from them? And now it appears to be that that's exactly what they're doing. You know, they're going into this real player motion. RPM is what they're calling it. And like Smitty says, it's pretty much, they call it the same thing in these other games. If you've played UFC 3, you can definitely see the difference, in my opinion, from UFC 2, just the interaction. You can see it. You can feel it. You can see how when a guy punches and hit a body part and his limbs bounce. You can see it. I'm just hoping, and whenever the game, once it's finalized, I'm hoping it's everything that is being advertised to be. And I know I'm going to say something here that's kind of a cliffhanger. I'm hoping it's everything that I have seen as far as what the future projection is supposed to be for the final product. I'm hoping it is, man. I'm hoping it is, but I haven't seen the game for quite a while. So again, Smitty is about to see it in a little less than 2 weeks. So yeah, man. Outside of that, I really want to see what you guys think about. I got the features here. Where is it? I just saw it. The push to pow, the one cut, and those little things, because I'll just say this. They seem like little additions and little features, but if it all plays out accordingly, yeah, it's gonna be huge benefits. So just remember those. Fan favorite celebrations. Hey, I had an opportunity, guys, and it's funny that they showed the Steelers one. You know, it's funny because I remember asking the guy in franchise, like, "Yo, we gonna get that juju," and he just smiled at me. He wouldn't tell me. So I was, had the opportunity. I was playing the game or whatever, and I saw it. I was like, so there's signature stuff going on in the celebrations. I know a lot of you guys have asked, are you able to, trigger them and all of that? I got to wait until they tell you. You know what I mean? So, but yeah, I saw quite a few celebrations that were signature style celebrations that, and again, I saw it at a very, very early state and all the animations and stuff weren't there yet. Trying to think, was there anything else, Smitty, I wanted to touch on? Oh, I'm actually putting a video out.
Positions.
Yeah, I might release it early. I have it set to release sometime in the middle of the night tonight, but I might release it at midnight or whatever. But I hope you guys paid attention, man, in the MUT thing where it said that those position specific, the little depth chart changes are in all areas of Madden. Now, I'm going to have to wait until they do the CFM presentation and all that, and they can, whatever they're going to deliver to really confirm how it applies there. But I can say, yes, it is in all areas of the game. It'll be very interesting to see how those things play along with the schemes and player archetypes and all of that, because what is something that you guys have heard me say numerous times? One of my main examples. Man, I want to be able to build a certain type of corner. Well, sounds like now there's a slot corner position, and if there's these archetypes that are in the game, I should be able to do something to that effect. That's what it sounds like. So I'm very curious, guys, to see what they are going to show, because there's still other things, man, that as far as gameplay that I just can't dive into. I'm very curious to see what they're going to put on display via EA Play, as well as the deep dev dive. Because if I'm not mistaken, I think next week is the gameplay one. I think it said week of June 4th.
Yeah, if they gameplay is next week.
Next week. So if they follow the same schedule, and if they follow the schedule they followed this week, because they said the MUT thing was going to be the 28th, the week of the 28th, and it happened today. So maybe it will be the same thing. I don't know, but I'm thinking maybe the same rollout. It might be that Thursday. Wednesday or whatever. But we'll know by next week. So yeah, we'll see. You know, we'll definitely see. But like I said, I'm curious to see what's going to be shown, man, because again, there's little things that all of this stuff that they're doing, they're not really saying at all. You understand what I'm saying? And I'm just not in a position where I can, because I don't know, number one, if it's going to be a part of their rollout, and number two, you know, the NDA. I just can't. I can't go into deep detail, guys, and I apologize for it. But I think it's gonna be interesting, to say the least. It's gonna be interesting.
Yeah.
And we'll see how everything works out. As far as news, I'm trying to think. Is there anything else?
I want to touch on them positions, man. I mean, you still
got,
want to talk about that? All right, this is the one thing I want to say, and this was something that I was talking to Sim about before the show started. Look, there's people complaining and whining about it. I'm calling names. Like I said, it's call-out season. If this game, especially if this game hits the right way, I'm calling cats out. That be whining, you know, because that's being part of the problem, not the solution. Dude, C-Mad is an example. He's one of the examples. He was out here complaining about the formations being added in, and he's like, "Oh, that's already in Madden. That's what the formation subs are for. It's already there." Okay, why is it that, look, this is big, okay? Because number one, there are sim guys that will use this feature because it makes it easier. It makes it easier. It's even more convenient to add them into the fold now, and with these positions, you know, to make those kind of adjustments. You can set it and it's done. You got people that want to be traditionalists and, oh, I gotta go through the formation sub screen and I gotta do this and gotta do that. Cool, do you? At the same time, you have people that don't necessarily play CFM, or they do play CFM and they really aren't touching those options like that. Now you're giving incentive for them to go into those options. You have to make the game accessible for people. And at the same time, this is going to help people learn. Like, I don't know how they're going to have the menu laid out and everything, but I will say this. If they have it anything like NBA 2K, like if they tell you in the game, not on a blog only, but in the game, they're telling you this is what this position is. This is what this rusher is. This is what, like, telling people the types. You do something like that, that's going to go a mighty long way, because you're going to introduce more and more people not only playing the game and starting to understand and learn the game, but then they're going to want to play CFM too. And they're going to want to play the mode longer and things like that, even though they say it's the most played mode and everything, and they got the stats to back it up. But I'm just saying, we herald and praise other games that do these kind of things. This is the part that cracks me up. When MLB The Show does it, we give them mad praise. Sony needs to be making football games. 2K does it. Oh, 2K needs a license and all that. But when Madden does it, it's like, oh, what? They already have that in the game. Why are they doing that? I'm like, what do you mean? Are you kidding me? MLB, you can pitch, field, and bat multiple ways. But then in Madden, they're just adding layers of depth. This is stuff we say we want in the game, and then they're doing it. And some people, not everybody, but I'm just saying some people are getting upset about it. And some of these people they run around the web all year talking about, oh, I want authentic football and I want football all day. Okay, so now that it's happening, you're mad. That's being part of the problem. And see, that's not a good look. But with these positional things, this is huge. This is a great thing to be added into the game, and I'm glad they're doing this. This is the stuff we need to keep seeing more and more of, which goes back to the point with Carlos. Balanced game across the board. You see all this. We see these things they're doing with Mutt this year. I want to also see what they're doing across the board with CFM and gameplay. Let's see. We'll be able to judge accordingly. This is what they did balance across the board, at least what they have on paper. Now, when the game ships and all that stuff, whether you rent, buy, GameStop, rent, Redbox, whatever,
rent it.
Then we'll see what happens. Yep, and we said 10 billion times the rent first. So, we'll see what happens with the game. But I'm just saying, guys, like, embrace these kind of options, because this is stuff that happens in all these other games that we give praise to and say Madden never gets and we never receive, and Madden always gets the short end of the stick. Well, now they're getting some good stuff, and I mean, right now, these features and facets that are being brought into the game, everything is sounding good. We just got to see how all of this stuff comes together and executes. That's going to be the most critical thing. And I'm telling you now, EA Play is not going to be the ultimate measuring stick. I'm telling you that. I already know it's not. It's going to come down to when I'm able to sit down at home, play the game, no distractions, and I can just zone out into the game. That's when I really know. But from a base level, I will be able to have a legit reaction and be able to talk about it on some level of depth. And I'm going to find out everything that I can from the devs when I'm there, like whatever it is I can get. So we'll see. Just embrace these changes, because change is good, especially for Madden that's been sitting in the same spot for who knows how long. Embrace the change, please. You know what I'm saying? It's been long enough. Shoot.
Man. Wow. Boy. See, Smitty, as soon as we call for Jordan Clarkson, man, this boy is just missing all kinds of shots. So score check, guys.
Oh, wow.
A little while ago, it was 42-35. It's now 44-40 Cavs. But Jordan Clarkson has missed probably 3 to 4 open looks. It looks like an interesting series in this first half so far. Of course, we can't really use game one as a measurement, but this could be interesting because, the Cavs are playing decent defense, but also the Warriors are missing a few shots, but then Warriors seem to have the edge on fast break points and transition and things like that. So this is going to be interesting. But yeah, man. Oh man, I just need to be quiet because it's a tough situation, guys. Man, it's because you have to be very careful. I can't go too far with stuff. I would hope that the experience from last year, that they learned from that, so there wouldn't be this debacle at EA Play where everybody's feeling this one way and then it's changed, because that kind of turned around and bit them, and then they had to act like they had to rush out and get this patent. And we like, bruh, okay, it's better, but it still ain't what it was, and I don't think you want that again.
No.
I just can't wait to see how everything unfolds, because again, there's stuff that is not being said. You understand what I'm saying? That there are things that's just not being said yet. And like I said, I would assume it'll be a little more happening when the gameplay thing drops. But, obviously, guys, we know how this works. Marketing, I'm sure when they put out the info last week, those are the high-level things as far as, But, I'm assuming it's going to be just like the deep dive with Mutt today. I would assume it would be something like that with the gameplay. I will assume it will be somebody, some influencer or, game changer that will have a video into that regard. Because if you think about it, the first one pretty much, the first quote-unquote playbook series was the interview with Carlos. Zan was able to do that interview. A shout-out to Zan. He did a great job with the interview, asked some good questions. The guy, your boy Pizza, I think, he had a video with Mutt today. So I'm only assuming, I don't know this, but I'm only assuming that that's how they're going to roll it out, have the deep dive, maybe have a game changer or somebody like that do a video to give you more of a, more detailed information. So I'm just waiting to see. I'm waiting to see what will be shown and said in the gameplay, because there's more stuff underneath that is not being said. So we'll see. We'll see. And then, of course, you know, if there is anything that I still feel like that you guys will need to know, then obviously I'd have to wait until the appropriate time before I could say. What else? What else, man? I just think everybody should hang their hat on RPM, man. Smitty and I say this all the time, man. It comes down to essentials. You know, how does a game move? And how do the players interact? And how does the game animate? Those are the three key essentials. Uh-oh, here comes Clarkson again. Oh, did he hit it? Was that Clarkson? That wasn't Clarkson. Who was that? Oh, who's this?
What?
Just got a steal. Who is that? I can't
was
see
that George
who it
Hill?
is. Oh, it's Hill. That's who it is. It was George Hill. Wow.
Like, he only has the light-skinned cat on the team.
And you know what's funny? Because I'm not sitting that close to the TV, I could tell his name was shorter. So I was like, who is that?
Oh.
It was George Hill. Hit a three, stole the ball on the inbounds, and then kicked it to, I think that was Nance for a dunk. So score check, guys. It's 49-40 right now. Cavs just rebounded the ball. 5:30 left in the half. Interesting. But guys, these are the Warriors. We know what they do in the third. And we know what type of team they are in general. So if you're a Cavs fan, don't get happy by what's currently happening. Whoa! Who was that?
Hey.
Was that Nance? Somebody else just hit a shot. It's 51-40. All right, but anyway.
Hey.
But guys,
just saying.
Back to what I was saying real quick to wrap up. Oh, Clay back, baby. 3 ball. Those 3 factors is what drives a game. Those things determines how well a game can replicate the real life counterpart. Because once you have those things in place, then you can add to it. And that's kind of what Carlos was saying as well. You know, whether it was that interview or the written interview that, you know, a lot of you guys might have read on Operation Sports, it all stems from there. And it's, to me, it's great to see that they're focusing on those core fundamentals. But what do Smitty and I always say? As much as we want signature play styles and all of that jazz, what good does it make? What good does it do if they slide across the field or if the animations are wonky?
Right.
Who cares? I know it's cute to look at, but I want it to really work the right way. You know what I mean? Like, so we'll see. We'll just see. But I think these are things to keep an eye on. Let's see how this stuff transpires, and that's it, man. That's it. You know, we'll just have to wait and see what's gonna happen. And if it's dun, we come on here and we rip them. But for that, whatever they do, that's good. We give them credit for that. Last thing I will say, I guess, in terms of other news, you know, it looks like that Canucks and Axis football are on the way. Well, I guess it's called Maximum Football now. It's not Canuck anymore, whatever. So, hey, man, we'll take a look and see what these games have to offer. I hope that they give something. I hope that there's something you can take from them. Because like I said in the video, and, you know, some people got mad at this, but let's be honest. Madden is the best chance we got to have a real, well-rounded football game. Those games will take way too long to catch them. It's not a AAA title. Madden is the best chance. So what I would need competition for, I'm going to be very frank with y'all. The reason why I want Madden to have little competition like that is because I want a backbreaker effect. Oh, they got physics. Oh, we need that in Madden. I hope Access has something in franchise that they're like, whoa, why didn't we do that? Because outside of that, unless it's Sony or 2K, there's not going to be a game on Madden's level. Stop it. All I want these games to do is introduce things that maybe Madden can, because let's be real. Probably not even 15% of y'all in this chat is even going to play them games. The only game you play is Madden as far as football. So the goal is to make Madden a better product. That's the goal. Until there's real NFL competition from a 989 Sony San Diego and 2K. Until that day happens, my whole mission here is to try to make Madden the best game it can be. That's it. That's it. All right. I guess that's all, Smitty. You got anything else before we roll out?
No, just, like always, we appreciate everybody coming through, hanging out. I don't know if you're going to do a show next week, Sim. I should be able to do it because I'll be in California. Oh, you can? Oh, yeah, that's right.
I'll be in Cabo.
You'll be gone. Yeah, so you'll be gone. So, basically, next Thursday, I don't even think I'll even jump. I don't know. I may jump on a Hangout or something like that, depending upon if they put some news out.
Woo!
I may just talk about it a little bit. But if not, then I'm going to hit y'all Saturday with something. You know what I mean? Like, I am going to, before me and Sim link up, which we'd have to figure that out somehow. But before we link up, I'm definitely going to do something, try and do a little Q&A kind of deal from what I played and everything that first day for both Madden and Live. And then, of course, when me and Sim get on together, then he'll definitely be, he'll be able to unleash the hounds, so to speak, and we'll really be able to have that talk. Yeah, hopefully, depending upon what they unveil. But I mean, gameplay will at least be unveiled because they even said on the 9th on the EA site, specifically the 9th, they're going to talk about controls in relation to gameplay. So that will be something we'll definitely be able to talk on, and Sim will be able to elaborate in depth on, and I'll have the hands-on experience with. My first.
Okay.
Yeah, on the 9th. So that's the first day of EA Play. So I'm pretty sure that's going to be in their presentation. I would assume so, and then we'll see what happens from there. So it's going to be interesting. Yeah. But yeah, it's going to be a fun-filled Saturday. Hopefully we get a blog talking about what gameplay stuff we have in store, and then we get even more on the 9th once they start getting into it. So when they present everything. So we'll see.
Tied up, 53-53. Tristan Thompson just got trapped in the post just now, and they know what to do. Jesus Christ. But yeah, guys, yep, I'll be back. I'll be getting back home the 9th. And a lot of you guys probably already know, but my wife and I, my cousin and his wife, and LeBron just got hit in the face. He's on the floor. Know what they gonna say? He crying. He took a shot in the face though. It looked like he's getting up. But anyway, we're going to Cabo. Again, my wife and I, my cousin and his wife, his coworker and his lady, and that's why I'm not going to EA Play. We'll leave on next Monday, so from the 4th to the 9th. But you already know I'm taking my computer with me and my microphone just in case I got to make a quick video about something. So if there's a blog or something that comes out, which we should hear some news about gameplay, I'll definitely do that. Just won't have the ability to do, a full show. Obviously, I'm on vacation. But yeah, what we plan to do, man, hopefully Saturday, if Smitty, if time permits with him, that's going to be a 3-hour difference. So we'll see how that works, if we can do something that Saturday night. But either way, whether we do something that night or not, we'll definitely come back the following Thursday for a show. So as of right now, guys, let's go ahead and let y'all know now there won't be a show next Thursday. The next official show will be the following Thursday, but an impromptu show might very well happen on Saturday.
Yeah.
Because Smitty might be giddy after he, gets his hands on something.
And I won't be on that following week because then once EA Play is done, like I said, I'll be on vacation with my family, so I won't be on for that show. But then the following week, I'll be back. And so, so basically, you'll hear from me mainly next weekend.
Yeah,
that EA Play, that's going to be me doing my thing, me and Sim getting together, us talking to y'all about Madden, of course, talking about Live. I'm gonna definitely talk about Live and all that. So we gonna do all that. So with EA Play, we gonna get it cracking. So we'll let y'all know what time based off of rest patterns and energy levels. We'll work it out and we'll do it. We'll get y'all something.
Yeah, we'll do that. Let's go ahead and put that
Yeah.
somewhat in stone. We just don't know what time or what have you. We'll let y'all know via Twitter. Saturday or Sunday or Monday, one of them days, which probably will be Saturday, we will do a show then. The following Thursday, I'll still be available to do the show. What I would love, if some of you guys, excuse me guys, I'm looking at the TV and looking back, I would love some of you guys, maybe like Zulu. I know Zulu's out in Cali. Any of you guys who may go to EA Play, would love to bring y'all on the show. I know Caleb probably going to be out there. He lives in LA. Would love to bring y'all in to fill in for Smitty. Give me y'all's thoughts on what y'all saw and experienced. Maybe we'll do something like that. At the very worst, if it's just me, maybe I will still do a short, maybe an hour show or whatever I can do on my own. But we'll set that in stone. And I appreciate all of you guys. Uh-oh. Is Carrie going to hit it at the buzzer? Oh, my goodness. Tied up 56-56 at the halftime, man.
Wow.
They should have just fouled him, man. You just can't let that happen. Like, the dude went for a steal. Who was that? Let me see who that was real quick before we get out of here. He went for the steal. He should have just fouled him. Because if you miss, let me see, who was it? J.R. Smith. And he got it off from the timeline, pretty much. Bam. Wow, good game so far. So, yeah. Appreciate all of you guys wishing us safe travels, man. Definitely appreciate that, man. And, that's going to wrap the show, man. So, y'all be good. Stay on the lookout for news next week. Like I said, I'll have my computer with me. So, if there's something I need to definitely chime in on, I will do that. But more importantly, you will probably hear from us on the following Saturday. Give you a heads up. It might be later because, again, Smitty will be 3 hours behind Eastern time. So, I should be able to stay up or whatever and knock it out. But it just all depends on when Smitty has time. And we'll do something there. So, all right, man. Y'all be good. Watch the rest of this game. And we'll catch y'all in a little over a week. All right. Peace.
Peace.
All right. Let me stop. All right. Peace for real. Peace.